Omo, who is that? Anong 친구?
In your everyday interaction, you may have observed similarities and differences with the people around you. You may have seen differences in physical appearance, preferences, abilities, skills, and behavior. Each person's intelligence, personal traits, and values differ from one another. These aspects define each person's individuality. As a grade 12 learner, personal and social skills will help you in developing healthy behavior and positive relationships. This module will help you gain better understanding about your role in promoting respect for individual differences and valuing others. Welcome to Quarter 1 Homeroom Guidance Module 2 for Senior High School. The title of this module is Accepting the Individuality of Others. Here are the learning objectives for this module. At the end of this module, you are expected to determine the basic aspects of an individual, demonstrate suggested ways in accepting others, formulate home or school policies that promote respect for individual differences, and appreciate actions or behaviors that accept individual differences. In doing the first activity, we need the following materials. First, a clean sheet of bond paper or a paper, and number 2, ball pen and coloring materials. Before we proceed, I want you to know that in this module, you will have a better understanding about your role in promoting respect for individual differences. This aims to give you an opportunity to view others' perspectives and feelings. Accepting attitude and openness to others' unique characteristics will help you to have healthy relationships. Go on board and celebrate everyone's individuality. Come on, let's try this activity. The title of this activity is Observation of Others' Uniqueness. To do this activity, you have to follow the following directions. Number 1, copy the following table on a clean sheet of paper. Number 2, think of 3 different persons who are similar in a certain aspect that you would like to observe for this activity. Example, think of 3 famous personalities that you know. They may be singers, dancers, inventors, politicians, or artists. Number 3, write their names and describe them using the options in each column. Use your best judgment on them. And lastly, write your answers to the processing questions after. So in here, you have to fill up all of the columns in this table. And right after, you will be answering processing questions. Here are the processing questions. Number 1, were you able to fill out all related descriptions for each person? Which of the descriptions is the most observable? Number 2, what is the most difficult description to observe? Explain. Number 3, what can you say about the differences that you observed among these 3 persons? And you have 20 minutes to do this activity. Your timer starts now. You can pause the video and proceed later if you are done. Next, let us do another activity entitled Let's Explore This. In this activity, we will be showing support for others. Follow the instructions again. Copy the following table on a sheet of paper. How will you support others in the given situations? Write your answer in each column. Kindly copy and answer the column on your paper. Write the situation and then add your responses under the column of physically, emotionally, socially, and spiritually. For example, a new classmate with a physical disability. If that is the situation, how will you support that person physically? What would you do? Next, how would you support that person emotionally? Third, how would you support that person socially? And lastly, how would you support that person spiritually? Okay, you will do the same thing until number 10. Just like the first activity, you will be answering processing questions. Number 1, what do you notice with your answers? As you have done the columns earlier, what have you noticed with your answers? Number 2. Which of the situations is the most difficult to handle or manage? And explain. Number 3. What type of support or help is the easiest to provide? Explain as well. Number 4. What have you realized after doing this activity? And again, you have 20 minutes to finish this activity. Your timer starts now. Alright, let us keep in mind the following pointers that we will be discussing. The title is Healthy Ways to Deal with Individual Differences. In dealing with others, we must recognize that we are all different from one another. Though we may have similarities in terms of preferences, taste, physical appearance, style, and many more, we still have our distinctions and uniqueness which make us special in different ways. Our individuality comes with our unique attributes and characteristics. Some can easily be seen physically, while some can be manifested through actions and behavior which may indicate values and personalities. There is harmony in diversity, and we can all keep it that way if we learn to accept one another as we are. There are healthy ways to deal with our individual differences, which would work for everyone's advantage, and here are some. First, accept that we are all different. Do not assume that your preferences would always be the same as those of your peers or friends. Of course, there are similarities among you, but all have different stories to tell that affect the way you see things. You may have different beliefs, culture, values, and even interest, and you cannot force anybody to be exactly the same as you. Remember, even twins have differences. Number 2. Use your similarities with other people to strike a harmonious relationship with them. While you acknowledge that people are different from one another, there are also commonalities which you may take advantage to establish positive relationship with them. At this point in time, you might have found the right people who can be your good friends, who can inspire you to strive harder, and who can be your role model. Number 3. Be open-minded with others. You can always learn from the experiences of your friends and peers, and they can also do the same with you. The manner they improve your lifestyle or even the way you see things around you. You can also learn from their culture, traditions, and values. Number 4. Try to consider where others are coming from. Your family setup may be different from what your friends have. People might have grown up in a province or in a highly urbanized city. There are those who have a complete set of parents and those that have a single parent or no parents at all. Additionally, people have different childhood experiences which greatly affect their attitude and personality now. There are also those who struggle financially and those who are well off. Keep in mind that people are coming from different backgrounds and they act, decide, and make choices based on those things. Number 5. If your differences with others are getting in the way, try to have a common ground. You cannot impose your beliefs, values, and culture to others, the same way that they cannot do that to you. However, instead of trying to prove who's better and who's not, you may want to find an area where you can both improve yourself while learning from each other. There are differences that are worthy to talk and celebrate, and there are those that we just accept unconditionally, just like in the second item. There's no point in comparing people as each of us have our own potentials and abilities. Always remember that you coexist with others. There are things that you cannot control, like the people around you, but you can always manage the way you deal with them. The choice is always with you. Either you make the most out of those individual differences and have a happy life, or you make that as your limitations. That is all for today. Make sure to read, think, follow, and enjoy every task that you are asked to do. Have fun, stay safe, and healthy. We will continue on week 3 on the next meeting. Kindly submit your output within this week. Thank you!